What is up, everybody? We're back. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. I Love a Mama's Boy, Season 3, Episode 1 has aired. This is Part 2. We are recapping the episode. So I want to jump back in because obviously we ran out of time in the last one. There's a lot to talk about. Guess who's back? Emily and Shakib are back. Emily keeps going back for more, and we're all questioning why. Why does Emily keep putting herself back in a relationship with Shakib and Layla? Because be honest, they're in a relationship together, all three of them. And not only are they in a relationship now, they're living together. And Layla has revealed to us that she's holding Shakib's clothes hostage. So he has to go back each week, several times a week, to go back and get his clothes. She won't let him take it with him because that's her reason to see him multiple times a week, for up to 4 to 5 times a week, because he can't really live without his clothes. And we also find out that Emily forced Shakib to move in with her. And her definition by force was she went after that huge fight at Layla's house. She decided to go and rent an apartment and put Shakib's name on the lease, I guess without telling him, and then said, we're approved. If you want to be with me, move in with me, or we're going to break up. And obviously he didn't want to end it. And now they're living together. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about forcing someone to move in with you?
Well, I feel like that might not be beneficial because when you force somebody to do anything, I mean, anything at all, you already know going into it that that's not their decision. Right. So you can't expect a 100 from somebody when they didn't even give it to you off the bat. So I feel like if she's being made forced to move in, if he's being made forced to propose, if he's being made forced to marry, to have kids, if this is going to be the toll of their relationship, the relationship's only going to be one-sided. Clearly, Shakib loves Emily. I think that they're an interesting pair together, but, you know, to each his own. He's always going to love his mom. Layla's always going to have the number one spot, whatever, you know, to the end of time. That's his mom, you know? So I think that Emily, if she really truly wants to make the relationship work, she needs to rewind it back and sit down. They should have took therapy first and maybe see if they could work through this and then see if it's worth investing and moving in, because making him do it, it's a recipe for disaster, because he's still trying to please Layla. And the fact that Layla still doesn't, you know, I mean, Emily's breakdown made it worse. So now she really doesn't like her. And she's trying to set him up on dates with other women. So it's just, this is going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Speaking of pleasing Layla, so like you said, there's a woman named Yusra who is one of Layla's good friend's daughters. She wants to have Shakib meet. And you know, last season as well, Layla was sending women to date Shakib while he was in relationships with Emily. And we know that this is a normal practice. And she just feels like when she finds the right girl for him, he's going to want to be with her. And again, Shakib is with who he wants to be with. So in order to get his mom to come and see the house and bless the house, he has agreed to meet with Yusra on a luncheon. I called it a lunch date. He doesn't want to use the word date because, you know, that would be cheating, but it is what it is, right? To go on a date with someone and have lunch with them and get to know them when you're in a committed relationship without the other person knowing, you know, that's pretty bad.
It is. And it's, if you look at the overall situation, Layla and Emily are very similar, where Emily is kind of like persuading or forcing, per se, Shakib to do what she wants. Layla's kind of doing the same thing in her own way. She's like, I'm not going to give you your clothes. You need to live with me. And I want you to date this person. So I'm not going to go do what you want to do and bless your house because I want you to go on a lunch date. Like, I feel like they're playing tug of war with him. And, you know, they're trying to rip him down the middle.
Well, right.
That's why I said, I think that it's deeper than that. I think they really need to do a sit down and figure this all out, because he's a human being. He has to figure out what's best for him in the end. He can love his mom and love his girlfriend, but in the end, he needs to be happy too. He can't spend his whole life only pleasing these people. He has to be able to find his happiness and live his life, because life is short. You can't just sit there and please everyone.
So let's talk about the last new person we met tonight was Trey and Lorinda. So we're going all the way to Mississippi to meet them, and we find out that they are TikTokers. They do TikTok videos together, which I think is a really cool hobby to have with your mom. I've actually seen a lot of people that make videos with their moms or their dads on TikTok. So this is like a popular trend. And they actually live down the hill. They're from Mississippi. So instead of saying next door, they say like down the hill. Or I'm from Louisiana, so it's a hop, skip, and a jump away. Literally, the back of their house is facing Lorinda's house, and Abby, who is with Trey, and they actually have a son together, 7-year-old son. She's trying to figure out where she fits in this dynamic, right? Because Trey is making TikTok with his mom. She cooks for him. She comes over, cleans the house. She mows his lawn. She does his laundry. She irons his clothes. And Abby's trying to figure out, well, where do I fit in? What do I do for Trey as his soon-to-be wife? And at this point, she can't really figure it out because she's not trusted to do anything, not even cook. So I'm trying to understand how they've been together so long, and she can't find her place. And for some reason, Lorinda can't see her as the right person for Trey after all this time.
I think that it's crazy. They kind of remind me of the past couple that was on last season, where the mom spent all the time with the son, and they went to travel together, and they went to the casino together and stuff. And she was doing the same thing. If you remember, she was paying his bills, and she was kind of like taking over as more of the wife role instead of the mother role. So we see this a lot, in this show. And first of all, I commend them for being together as long as they have been, because I know that I will always respect the mother's role. I know that mom comes first, because without her, the son wouldn't even be there. So I'm not so much bothered by the fact that they have a close bond. I just hate that there's no voice to be heard. Like, Abby matters too. You know what I mean? Like, she is the mother of his child. She loves him. She, has his back. And I feel like at this point of time, there needs to be more trust and say, you know what? She's been in it for the long haul. She gave me a grandbaby, let me welcome her too, and then maybe they can do more things together or be more accepting when the mom and the son do stuff. And she won't feel some type of way. She feels like she's in competition without trying to be in competition when they have two separate roles. So I think that there's hope. Just needs to be a little bit more vocal, without being disrespectful, of course, but just be able to put her foot down and say, hey, I matter too.
Absolutely. Abby has said that she does want to marry Trey, but she said that that's exactly what they have to work on, knowing where she fits in, where his mom will fit in, and both of them understanding boundaries. There has to be boundaries. Lorinda can't come in at 4 a.m. and start cooking and making noise and wake up everyone in the house. There has to be boundaries. And if they can conquer that, I feel like they've already been in it for the long haul. Over 8 years together, it's possible to make this work if they can just all get on the same page. So that was it. That's everyone that we met on this premiere episode of I Love a Mama's Boy. We haven't met everyone. I'm really excited about this season. This is one of my favorite TLC shows. I know it's one of your favorite TLC shows as well. Make sure you're live tweeting with us. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C, and we will see you all really soon.
Bye. Happy Father's Day.